We are going to go inside the Key to the City game from September 2019 between Augustana and Sioux Falls, and we are happy to have Vikings head coach Jerry Olszewski here to break down some of the key moments. But the first thing I wanted to ask you was, this game was on a Thursday night. What was your guys' mindset heading into it? Because you were 2-1 at the time.
Same thing. We knew it was a big game, and of course you don't have to get the troops rallied up for this game. Being a short week, it probably, and I think Coach Anderson and I agreed on that, it was probably better to have it on a short week to get some of the distractions out of the way. But the big thing was, those two games that we already played were behind us, and thought we missed an opportunity in one of them, and we had to make that up. And just we're really excited for this opportunity. We knew it was a great opponent with a ton of success and a lot of aspirations for a great year, and we were going to have to play good football. So it was no problem getting the guys' attention. They were chomping at the bit to start that week.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some critical moments from that game, just kind of get your thoughts on that. And so we will take a look at that right now. All right, so this is early in the first quarter, 3rd and 9. They had a bad kickoff return, so you actually pinned them back a little bit. And then the strip by Swanson, Dippenbrock gets the fumble, and you got 1st and goal immediately after kicking off to start the ballgame.
Yeah, a huge play in the game early as it went. I thought our staff had a really good plan on 3rd down all day, switching up between some pressure looks and different coverage looks and getting some opportunities. But the key was to get it 3rd and long. That was going to be one of the keys to the game, I thought. We thought, I should say. In this scenario, we did a little switch up in the coverage, rolled to a roll 3 situation. Caden just happened to have his eyes on that part and kind of took the route away in its immediacy. And then a good call on our twist. Just a really good job up front. Ran it well. Logan comes with a lot of authority, gets center massed, and just powers over and gets a huge sack strip in the play. And it's just really good timing on everything. I thought it was really good.
And then Epperson gets the touchdown here. You told me back in fall camp you knew he was going to be an impact player right away. And then here, this is kind of indicative of how the game goes. It's another 3rd and long situation, and you bring Luke Fritsch off the edge for the safety sack.
Yeah, and a couple things in this one I thought were really big. As it played out, Jared's touchdown was just good vision. But this one, we were in a man-free situation. We had a switch pressure, but I just timed it out perfect. Luke timed it out perfect on his timing of coming on that pressure. And when he came, landed it. And it also helped that on the front side, Grayson dented the pocket really well. Had a good center mass pressure on the play side, which made Caden flatten out a little bit. And Luke's a heck of an athlete. He got there in a big hurry and has a huge play.
So we're jumping ahead here to the 4th quarter, and it's tied at 13. This is where TJ Liggett gets a sack. There are going to be 4 straight plays here. We're going to run them without interruption. 4 straight plays that go in your guys' favor. So we've seen a Luke Fritsch sack from the 3rd level. We see a TJ Liggett sack from the 2nd level. It seemed like you guys going into this game wanted to differentiate the coverages, differentiate the looks to create confusion. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that Coach Malone and Coach Golden and Coach King had a really good plan. I think our kids were comfortable with the plan. We didn't want to do too much. The year before we really didn't execute very well, and that was a huge part of this game, was being able to execute at a high level and let our kids play fast. But yeah, given different looks, whether we actually did that or not was to give a pre-snap different look and then pressure when we wanted to, not when we had to.
And so that was on 2nd down. Then on 3rd down, Grayson Dippenbrock gets another sack. The penalty's on them. It's a holding penalty. You decline it to bring up 4th down. But now you've gotten sacks at all 3 levels of the game. At certain points, if you're an offensive lineman, are you aware that the pressure's coming from different areas? Did you maybe cause a little confusion among the Sioux Falls offensive line?
Well, we sure hope we did. I thought that up front, our kids did a really nice job on our loops and twists. A lot of times we landed with 4, just with movements. Sometimes movement with the pressure and sometimes just 5-man pressure. So, yeah, I think that our staff did a great job of combining up things. But, when you look at that tackle for loss by Liggett, there was nowhere for that play to go. It's just one of those times where you dial up the right call at the right time versus zone read. And then Grayson was just winning the one-on-one. He got great leverage, great get off, and you beat a holding call. But that's, sometimes you just we talk to our kids about winning the one-on-ones. And I thought our staff put our kids in a position to be successful. And I thought our kids played really hard. They really played hard and well.
And they played hard there because the punt goes over the punter's head, or the snap rather goes over the punter's head. Inexplicably, he takes it out of the end zone, so you guys get the ball 1st and goal at the 2. And good heads up by your kids, not letting up. They went after him no matter where the ball was.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that Jared doesn't get there if he does punt it. We had a great get off, and he was untouched off the line of scrimmage. But, yeah, we were fortunate on that one. You know, you work with your kids all the time, and our coaches too, in scenarios, and then it happens live. And, you know, it's a little bit of fortunate happening by us. But our kids made the play, you know, and it set us up for a great opportunity to score 7 or 6 rather than 2.
And so you have a first and goal opportunity at the 2-yard line. Zach Masoli is coming in relief of Kyle Sadler, giving you a different dynamic. And first play, it's just a simple read option, and he is basically uncovered on the right side.
Yeah, you know, we ran it 3 times previous when we got down there earlier, and certainly the plan again. I thought Zach did a great job of reading it. I thought our staff put a good plan together. We actually arced both edges, had everybody blocked up on the play really well, and Zach did the right read and pulled and walked in. So good execution, good call, and you know, again, just really good football, and happy to get him in the zone and celebrate a little bit.
So that makes it, after the Luis Guarita extra point, it makes it 20-13 early in the fourth quarter. And then what's interesting is USF goes on an 8+ minute drive here, but Eli Weber probably with the play of the game at the goal line.
That's a huge play. You know, Caden was on, and they were moving the ball down the field. And I give our staff credit and our kids credit for being patient. You know, they're keeping the ball in front of us, not letting it get over the top. They're a very explosive offense in 2019. We covered it up really well. You know, it's a simple cross route with a cross underneath. Both safeties and linebackers read it really well. It's something we rehearsed in practice. Eli was up over the top waiting for it. And he's a heck of a player. He's an explosive young man. Made the play and came out and got a little change with it too. But that was a huge play in the football game, and really it kind of squashed the momentum that had been growing a little bit at that moment.
Yeah, he picks the ball off with a little more than 4 minutes to go. You guys are able to run a little bit of clock, can't quite get enough first down, so you have to punt it back to them. So this is their final drive. They're attempting to tie. They're starting it with about 1:20 to go. A quick hitter here. Luke Fritsch gets the tackle here for 5. And at this point, it's all hurry up for them. You're going to call a timeout here shortly, but in terms of fatigue and energy, how do you keep your guys up and motivated and focused on the task at hand?
Well, senior leadership sure helps. These guys have been through some snaps before. I think the other thing is, you know, we practice a lot of game scenario, but it's practice. You know, we run our stuff in practice at a pretty high tempo. But I'll tell you this, our kids didn't panic. I mean, they were just playing football, playing to the standard, and this was a fun group to coach. This team was a fun group to coach because there was no moment too big for them. I felt really great even on the previous drive. I'm like, these guys are playing ball. Regardless of what happened, it was a fun moment and watch kids play hard. And this series it came down to, I was very confident they weren't scoring. I mean, as a head coach, and if they did, they did. But I was confident going into it that, you know, if we're going to leave this anyway, let's leave it on the defense here and finish this baby out.
You call a timeout here with 54 seconds left. It's 3rd and 5. You know, both sides have been, you know, kind of running a lot. You're kind of gassed. What's your message during that timeout? Why did you call that timeout? Was it to kind of rally the troops, just get them refocused, make sure they had a little more gas in the tank?
Yeah, they just had come with, you know, 4 new wide receivers to replace it, and our guys had just had an 8-minute drive, as you said previously, with a short drive to follow. So we were on the headsets as a staff, and they asked, can we get a timeout here? I said, absolutely, we need it, and just gather our troops and talk about the scenario that it is, what they have to do to win this game and what we need to do to get it done. So it's just really just a calming and give them a rest so they could finish.
So it comes up here with a big 3rd and 5 with less than a minute to go. Of course, they need a touchdown just to tie this game. And the story all night long was your defense's ability to get pressure. And it's going to manifest itself here as Logan gets a sack, as Walters, his knee hits the turf. And they got to go because they got no timeouts. And so both sides kind of have to refocus really quickly.
That's a big play right there. You know, Logan, wins the one-on-one, got to the chest. Just a great one-on-one move. Bull rushed it in, collapsed the pocket, and finishes with a sack and keeps the clock running. That's the biggest thing. I think it was at 50 when it started, and I don't think that play ran, if I remember, until about 30.
Yep, and then 4th down, he gets a good look to Broadnax over the middle, but Michael Close at the last second knocks it away.
You know, it's a great throw. I don't think, you know, Caden Walters could have put that in a better spot. It was really a great throw, a good route. And we had good under coverage, and Michael just went and made the play. You know, closed it out, and great timing, and separated the receiver and the ball. And But that's just good football. As a coach, you got to look at this, and we did in past study. Like, man, that's a great throw. That's a great defensive play. That's just good football. And thankfully for us, it ended up on the good side of the chains.
So that's a turnover on downs. Kyle Sadler's going to come back in, take the knee. I know there's still time on the clock, but did you feel a sense of accomplishment here? You're hugging Masoli and everything like that. How did you feel in that moment when Closa knocked it away?
I just was happy for our kids, really. And that whole thing with Zach right there, he was such a good support for Kyle, and Kyle back to Zach. Really big moment in that game for him to come in and do his thing and help us get a win. So I want to congratulate him on stepping up to the moment and being ready when called upon, which we talk about all the time. But honestly, and I've seen this video a couple times, but just looking to that goalpost and watching our seniors be able to have that experience was just what it's all about. It's another win, and that's great, and that's huge in the season. But for our seniors to have that experience, that's a big deal, especially coming off of the embarrassing performance we had a year previous. It was very gratifying.
And there your seniors are, and the rest of your team. You get the key from the north end zone. You win the game 20-13. And, of course, this is a catalyst to your return trip to the playoffs this past season. And I think the lesson I learned, at least from that game from a broadcasting standpoint, is, having covered you guys for several years, everyone knew your offense was always going to be good. I think the questions were about the defense, and the defense showed out in this game. My goodness, just the different looks, the different pressures. It really kind of put a seal on, hey, this defense is matching our offense's output.
Yeah, and that was all year long. And I told you in the springtime, watch our defense. I mean, kids can run. We were fast, I thought. We were explosive. They had a hunger to them. They had a pride to them. And the big word for us is, the whole be the rock mentality, the be accountable to one another. Really, across our team was great, but galvanized this football team, I think, in a lot of ways. And again, I'm going to reiterate, what a fun team to coach. I mean, you could not make a hard scenario for these guys. The harder we tried to make it, and we tried, the better they performed and the more they raised the bar. So from here on out, their legacy will be, play to the standard. You play to what we're capable of, and that means your responsibility. So just a fun year, a fun way to get a win and against a quality playoff opponent. In a big stakes game, we had slipped the one at Bemidji, and that really cost us dropping that one, or we probably would have had a home playoff game, had that been. But there's so many close games in this season, and our kids just stayed together. They just found a way to win, and that's what a winning football team does. They stay together and they play together.